Hey there, today's drawing session, we're going to go back to the figure and we're going to work with some warm-ups. Similar process as with the portraits last week, but this week we're going to do a full figure and we're going to do some quick warm-ups using the mannequin, doing mass drawings, finding the rhythm, all of that stuff, capturing the pose, and then doing an extended pose, 15-20 minute pose of a figure. So let's get started. So I'm in my Pinterest board. I have a ton. This is my figure reference board out on Pinterest. So I'll put the link in the description for you to go in and click on, or find your own figure poses and things like that. And once you start looking for poses, Pinterest's algorithm will start feeding you various poses as well. So, all right, I have a whole series of images, figures, male, female, and I believe they're all clothed, so there's no naked people in there. So, all right, so just thought I'd better check. All right, so here we are. Let's get started. About a 1 to 2 minute pose. Let me check the time, and we're just going to get started. All right. Okay. I'm going to find these poses. Okay. This is really good practice in that it gets you looking and it gets you to hopefully catch the poses. Okay, there's our first mannequin. Proportions a little wonky. We'll go to our next one. I'm going to go to the crouched male there. All right, so we're going to throw that guy right in here. All right. If we can catch all the various points of reference. Okay, and let's throw the chest cavities right up in here. And we'll throw the leg down. The arm comes around. All right, and then this comes around behind. All right, so that was fun. Those crouching ones are a bite. Don't spend a lot of time on this. We're just going to try to get all of the... All right, so let's get this. Hips are going to be right there. The leg comes clear up, comes back, gets that toe like that. The other one comes over, knees about right there. And so there's the torso. Now let's get his arm. Shoulders right behind the head. Comes down right along the knee. Elbows clear out here. And we'll throw out the hand. The other arm comes down. Elbows right there. Comes down. And we'll throw out that hand. All right, so those were a bite. Good grief. Let me get this young lady. Oops. These are fairly quick. I'm not spending a lot of time on it. I don't need to. I just need to get the sense of scale. All right, this full figure, she has an angle this direction on the upper body, comes down here to the hips, high hip, low hip. So the hips are in this angle for the upper body. And then we're going to throw this knee out right to here, bring it down, and we'll get the foot. All right, other hip is coming out this way behind the leg, and the foot is going to be right there. All right, upper torso, high shoulders in this direction. There's the rib cage. Throw that high shoulder. I'm going to throw the elbow right there, pull it back. Throw this one out, pull it down to the hip. All right, so that's essentially the rhythm, the structure of the pose. Get this young man here. I'm going to get him. All right, he's going to be fairly vertical. All right, we'll just get his head right there. All right, so he's kind of, his rhythm is right through. It's fairly straightforward. His hips are at a slight angle, so let's throw that in there. And then his leg comes down, knee, foot, and then the leg. The knee on this one's going to be high. That's a foreshortened thigh. Oops, throw that in there. There we go. Foreshortened thigh. Comes back around. And again, we'll throw that in there, maybe with a little heel. We'll get the rib cage. And we'll throw, there's the coat hanger right in there. This is all stuff that I can work up later. There's our mitten. And let's get this one. This is all about just getting the pose right. There we go. So that would give me the structure to work with for the rest of the mannequin with the gesture on. Oh, there is a naked person. Oh, I forgot about that. We got butts there. All right, let's look here. Oh, I'm scrolling through. There we go. Here's another nice one. Female. Head's at an angle. There we go. We're going to catch her coming through the figure. Hips are going to be at this point. We'll throw those in there. High hip. Okay. Throw that leg in. It's right like that. And then straight down. And then like that. This one here, it's going to be right next to it. Knees about right next to it. Comes down and it does the same thing. All right. All right, let's get the chest cavity. We'll get the shoulders right there. And I'll post these pictures out to the post sections on my channel so you can use the exact ones if you can't find them in my feed and my board. So these are fun. Those are good. Those are warming up nicely. And I've got a little spot right in here. And we're going to do, oh, let's see here. Let's do this young lady right here. Another dancer. Those dancers, I tell you. All right. She is like ramrod straight. We've got, there we go. Shoulders thrown back. All right. And comes through. Hips are right here. I'm going to throw a knee out. I'm going to pull this leg down. Knee down. And then the foot. This foot comes down right along that leg right there. All right, and then we'll throw the, oop, too long. There we go. And then this one comes right up along. And we'll throw that arm out. There we go. So that was a fun one. Yikes. You didn't get to see all of that one. So anyway, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quick mannequins just warming up. And I'm just going to flip the sheet over and we'll do a little more of an extended pose for a few more minutes and get a few more with some masks on them. So let me find another figure. All right, right in here. All right, so again, work with charcoal. I think you'll loosen up a lot more with charcoal. I'm working with a charcoal pencil. Okay, so her torso is fairly straight up and down. Pull it down. We're going to find the hips. She's got a low hip and a high hip. We're going to throw that shoulder is at an angle, right like that. So we'll throw chest in like that. There's our shoulder blade. All right, and then we're going to drop out this leg right there, and we'll throw there we go. Throw that down, throw that out, and that foot's about like that. Okay, right along the hip is where her arm is going to be, right about right there. And her elbow's right back there. So that's a foreshortened forearm. Throw that in. And then this one, pull it down, elbow, arm, right there on the thigh. All right, so now we have essentially the mannequin here. Now we can spend a little more time and get more of the structure, the mass. Throw that collarbone in there. That is the coat hanger. All right, and I'm going to throw in that top right there. And we got some cleavage right there. All right, and pull it down. All right, so this arm kind of flattens out, has a little bulge right there as it comes down to the elbow. Top of her outfit around this way. All right, she's got a fairly thin top. Here we go. And that's really just trying to get the right shapes on the contour. And I'm going to these are quick as well, at least they should be in theory. All right, and then pull that thigh out, pull it back in and around right along that. Okay, let me get her thumb. And we'll get the top part of her thigh. Knees about right there. Okay, so I don't have her foot quite in the right spot. I'm going to get this hand here. There's her knuckles. There's the break for her fingers. And all you're going to see is the top portion of that. Comes around, becomes the elbow. All right, so really have it fairly blocked out. Don't quite have those feet in the right spot. All right, let's get this. There we go. Nope, there we go. And then we can start. Once we have all the parts and the mass, the contour edges worked in, now you can kind of come in and do a bit of the shading. And I shifted to an underhand grip. And we'll just try to come in and you can kind of begin and start building your tone. All right, it looks a little. So that's, again, real quick study using a figure, starting with the mannequin, building the contour edges, creating mass. There's a number of ways of doing it, but this works pretty well, especially once you get warmed up. I'm looking for another figure. Waiting through. I got a lot of dancers in my. They're good dynamic poses is typically why I like them. And I got a lot of studies there. All right, let's get. All right, so that's fairly form-fitting right there with what she was wearing. So I'm going to do this kid here real quick. All right, so we'll get him. He's looking down. Okay. Throw his head that way. His neck is really about like that. Shoulders are coming right through, kind of at an angle right there. All right, and then his. Okay, so he's got kind of a slouch. He's got a lot of clothing here too. So I'm going to throw this hip low, this hip is high. Okay, and we'll throw that knee right there. Throw that out, and we'll get the foot right there. Throw this guy like that. And there we go. So that's pretty much the structure for him. Now I'm going to elbow break point, pull it down. His hands in his pocket, can't see the back side of it. So now we at least have the structure that we can start building some of the contour stuff. I'm going to work a little bit on his face. Okay, throw that up like that. He's got a massive hair, so we'll just do that real quick. Okay, so this one is going to be a little more complicated because of all this clothing. But getting good at drawing cloth and folds, that's all very fun. Got some zigzags in there, some compression folds. Just keep them, got a couple of diaper folds. Okay, so get that hood, wraps around his shoulder. Again, some more compression folds right in there. And just playing around and drawing folds is a lot of fun in itself. Okay. All right. So we've really spent our first half hour just kind of warming up, getting a sense for what we're going to do with our extended pose. Now let's get his pant leg. And then this leg. Okay. All right. And now let's get this guy right there. All right, now let's get a shoe. And a shadow. So that one turned out pretty good. Pretty good study. Nice little difference between my initial 15-minute, oh no, it wasn't even 15-minute, a 3 to 5 minute pose, and then my second one. So I'm really starting to get loosened up and warmed up and becoming a little more familiar with my mark making and getting things kind of going. So anyway, that's what I want you to do. Each time you sit down to draw figures or portraits or anything, start with some really fast, quick, gestural type sketches, be it the Loomis head, just getting everything loosely in position. Extend it out, add a minute, add 2 minutes, get it up to 5 minutes, step up to a 10-minute pose, and then move it to like a 15-minute pose. And that's our next step in just a second. All right, I'm going to work on a pose of a male. It's an action pose. It's not just a static pose standing. This one definitely has a primary and secondary rhythm through the body. And I think it'll be a little more fun than just drawing some standing person. So let's get this started. It's a male. And he's got some interesting lighting, which will be beneficial for our charcoal drawing here. And we're going to get his, there we go. And we're going to get the angle of his body right there. Hips are going to be down here. They're fairly level. All right. And then we have the leg. Make sure we get the angle about right like that. And then we'll get the arc. And then we will get the foot in here. Okay, So there's that. His shoulders are at a fairly steep angle. He's got his shoulder blades there. There's the coat hanger. So the shoulder there. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to rump, and we have a foreshortened arm here. Elbows right there. And changes direction slightly. And then we'll get the arm, thumb, and then fingers. All right, so that's good. Let's throw this one out. Right like that. Comes up, right like that. We get the front of the hand, and you get the fingers right there. That's exaggerated. I'll have to pull that back. This leg, right there's the knee, and we'll bend it back this way, and we'll catch the heel, and then the foot. All right, so we essentially caught the pose with the mannequin at the moment, and now we're just going to start massing in and finding all of the shapes. We have a compression right in here. Comes up and around. Gets that muscle on his forearm. Got that trapezius off his neck right there. There we go. Got the elbows happening right there. Get that muscle coming around. All right, cool. Anyway, that's looking good. We have some nice stresses right in here. Comes up into his rib cage, backing around up into the arm. There's his shoulder right there, that upper arm. Again, this is a foreshortened arm. The elbow is going to happen right in here. Okay, and we'll throw the neck. A little bit of the neck right there. Cool. All right, the back. And then it straightens out like that. I think I got his shorts too low. There we go, right like that. I'm gonna get his whole butt and upper thigh right in there. And again, we got some foreshortening on that leg. All right. Got a bunch of compression folds right there on that portion of his. Cool. All right, now we got all sorts of fun to deal with here. Pull that down. All right. I didn't time this. Oh, I did too. I can see how much time I got. All right, I need to speed it up or I'm never going to get it done. Okay, let's get his head. All right, let's get this arm. This is the arm that's probably out of proportion the most. We'll just see if we can get it fixed here. Yeah, I think so. Throw that palm. There's that shape for the hand. Then we just need to get the fingers just right. We'll deal with the detail. This is kind of small, so the finger is going to be fairly... There we go. All right, now we're cooking. Okay, hang on. How are we doing? I'm running out of time. There we go. I'm just going to fix that real quick. Okay, I'll grab this leg here, comes down. Okay. He's got the Tarzan calf muscle there. This is not highly detailed yet, or should be, for 15 minutes. We're just trying to get mass, form, value, shading, all of the components into this initial pose. Something fast. All right. And now, last but not least, let's get this leg. All right. Pretty cool. All right. So when you're drawing figures, your biggest friend really is these warm-ups, these 15-minute poses before you ever dedicate yourself to spending time working on a longer pose. Get in there and practice this first, and your figures will look a lot better by just simply getting started, warming up. So there we go. That is about a 12-minute sketch. I could keep working on this, refining, getting all of the shadows just right. This hand's better than that hand. Those fingers suck. But so what? It doesn't look too bad. And those first warm-ups I did allowed me to get to this point with this one. So, all right. Hey, I hope this little drawing lesson and tutorial helps out. Practice this. Your friend is repetition. So do this, do it again, do the same pose again, skip to another pose. Just do a lot of poses, and pretty soon your hand and eye are going to start syncing up. You're going to start getting better proportions, better shapes, and better contour edges with the whole thing as you practice. So have fun doing this. Hey, if you got any value out of this tutorial, please give me a like and a subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And practice this. If you need some help, I've got Loomis reference materials out in the description of this video. It'll kick you over to my website. You can download the Loomis figure drawing for all it's worth, and or heads and hands. And people have told me they think that's a portion of the book. So I need to go look see if I can find the larger extended version of the book and get it linked to my site. But hey, I really do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.